The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. LP.TV.
Bichon picks up, and they've got a short field. They've got another goal. It's tied up at 12. I cannot believe what I'm seeing
Can
here.
Lola Dam chase that one down? That is a score for Hartlinger Elferkel. Fantastic run by Julia Love.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge.
And we believe that requires knocking down the paywall.
We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch, and we want them to go viral.
When you become a member, you enable us to improve our working relationships with tournament organisers, events and federations.
And you'll help us to produce live stories for Ultimate fans, and to generate new fans with our enhanced content.
We are a group of Ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts, and we want to bring you coverage on a more consistent basis. We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Ciao ragazzi, support the community.
And subscribe Ulti TV. There's lots of the videos, posting, everything. Check it out. They are the best one. Woo!
If you want to grow Ultimate Sports, become a member of Ulti TV.
Regardez Ulti TV. Deviens un membre d'Ulti TV et fais grandir ta communauté.
Stop Ulti TV فيلم eroginkime Ultimate vendromena. Si quieres ayudar a Ulti TV, puedes ser miembro de Ulti TV.
Thumbs up for Ulti
Everyone,
TV.
follow Ulti.tv on Instagram, on YouTube. They've got everything.
Best content.
Like their pictures if you love free speech. Just do it.
We're counting on you.
Bli medlem på Ulti TV.
Became member
of Ulti.tv.
Mamma mia.
Contribue au développement d'Ultimate avec Ulti TV.
Like and subscribe, Ulti TV, the best in the world.
We want to grow Ultimate.
we want to grow Ultimate. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We have our signature style 2-camera setup,
With thousands of hours of experience,
and our crew is globally dispersed to facilitate coverage everywhere around the world. We can also scale back our broadcast with just one elevated camera, or scale up with 2 fields, 2 cameras, and 2 commentators on each.
we work with local teams and we all have the same mission, to grow the sport and bring it to new people by providing live coverage and news stories.
Become a member today on our Patreon page.
And fund our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories, ideas and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody in between and all over the world, it is my distinct pleasure to be Lorcan Murray and to be bringing you some top quality Masters Open Ultimate here in the knockout stages, as we are seeing Noisy Les Sacs' very own Iznogood taking on Royal Stag coming out of Madison, Wisconsin. A battle across the Atlantic between the old allies America and France. It promises to be tantalizing, scintillating, sensational and exciting, and I wouldn't want anybody else in my co-pilot chair with me than the one, the only Etienne Fournier. How you feeling, Etienne?
I could not be better. Very looking forward. This Iznogood versus Royal Stag matchup. Royal Stag that has won all of its 6 games in the pool play. After that, they met Warao in the pre-quarters, which they have won by a score of 15-8. On the other side, Iznogood has a 4-2, 4 victory, 2 losses in pool play, and then they were able to meet Woolly Mammoth 10-9 in the pre-quarters.
So Isno had quite the matchup against Woolly Mammoth, just coming out ahead of them in the end, and that is the kind of close run affair we are hoping to see here today, as Isno are trying to do themselves proud and represent that French Republic. They will be relying on their fraternité to keep them together. They're going to be relying on their liberté to get separation, and they're going to be relying on the égalité of their ability across a team, because it will take a team effort for them to be able to come up over Royal Stag. Is there anything you're particularly looking out for in this matchup at the end?
Well, Royal Stag has shown an amazing display of disc handling. When they are in possession, it is very, very hard to block the disc from the Royal Stag O-line. While Iznogood, we were chatting with one of the captain before the game, and they say, well, we're here, we have nothing to lose. We are very excited about this game. We don't have much opportunity to play against those big American teams, so we're just here to leave it all out on the field.
And that's a very important point. The Masters division still in something of an infancy, much like Ultimate itself, on European shores. So Isno don't get as many opportunities playing as high quality Masters opposition in the same way that Royal Stag do. Royal Stag, a combination of multiple teams from Madison area who came together specifically so they could play elite level Masters Ultimate. And that's what they've been doing so far in this tournament with very impressive performances. We want to give a shout out to Underburn, Madison Club and Noise. There's some club teams based out of Madison, many alumni of whom are appearing on this Royal Stag outfit, as well as, of course, the Madison Radicals, who a lot of these players have served time with. That is the AUDL team based out of Madison. So, we are just about to get underway. It will be Royal Stag starting on defense, playing from left to right. Isno will be receiving the disc and searching for an early point to settle those nerves, because this is the quarterfinals of the World Championships. This is by no means a small feat, and it is going to be something that will take some stamping by Isno if they want to get their way against the Royal Stags. Here we go. The big arcing pull coming out of the hands of Ben Nelson and quickly picked up in the middle of the pitch by Isno. That's Müller. Müller searching. Doesn't like his downfield options straight away, and they're just going to take their time. There's no need to rush anything. That's Müller. Gets it down the line. Waiting for him was Tessier. Tessier sends that down the line. Well taken in by Calmel. Calmel had an incredibly impressive performance on the stream a few days ago. Remember, all of the streams we provide you here through WFDF and ulti.tv will remain for free on YouTube for you to watch at your leisure. So feel free to go back and see Isno's earlier performance, and look out for Calmel with some very athletic plays. Back into the middle to Tessier. Or Müller, sorry, and there's the quick turnover. Perhaps I cursed him by getting his name wrong. So an early turn on Royal Stag, as Etienne was saying, they're very difficult to get the disc off of. So how will Isno react? The quick dump back to Shreewise. Shreewise can't connect on the other side, so a turnover right back. Maybe a couple of hiccups as these teams look to get to grips here in the quarterfinal matchup. Thinks about the deep shot, decides against it, gets it to Pla. Pla on the end zone, and screaming down into the open side for him is Afil. Pops it again to Müller. Müller, and he's going to be a focal point for this Isno offense all game long. Pla swinging it around. This is nice, expansive play. Winds up in the hands of Gwen Tessier. Full name, Gwenael.
Just love right now how Iznogood is working out of the red zone. Taking their time, great positioning. Quite disciplined from the red jerseys.
As Müller and Tessier work together, looking to find holes in this Royal Stag end zone. There's the arcing backhand break around, and well taken in for the score by Guillaume Raskin.
Good way to redeem themselves after being the victim of a handball, but I think there was a call on the play, so the disc is going back.
Very well noticed at the end, and the disc will go back into the hands of Tessier. So Tessier goes for a different kind of a break to a whole other player, winding up with Kalmal getting his first score on the board, and Isno converting for the 1-0 lead on offensive hold.
If it worked first time, why do not repeat it just a few seconds later? So great execution by Iznogood. I like the way they were disciplined in the red zone, and great way to redeem themselves from being hand blocked right in the middle of the field. Let's give some credit to the whoever was marking on Iznogood. I think it's number 44, Mathieu Müller, who was victim of that Royal Stag hand block. So good way to redeem themselves on offense.
It's a very nerve-wracking thing to get hand-blocked in the opening point of a game. And suddenly you think, oh no, I'm not going to be comfortable at all during this matchup.
It's part of the experience you earn, and at the master level, you expect those players to, put the whatever mistakes they're making on the field, put them that behind very, very quickly in order to stay in the present moment.
Presence of mind, mentality, focus, all things that get honed over the years, and we expect to see in spades as Royal Stag's O-line gets a first look. And a quick pop into the middle. Royal Stags played a lot of under-based game yesterday, but they go with what the defense gives them, so we'll see what they can get away with against Iznogood. That's Brian Niver. Niver also doubling as the main coach for this Royal Stag outfit. So Niver doesn't like what he has, eventually gets it down the line just about, and that one, the pass to Purnell looked off. Meyer searching. This is great defense by Isno on the dumps, really impressive, forcing the long arcing pass out to Perel. Perel gets it back. Iznogood coming with some intensity in these early exchanges. That's Egan. Egan tries to get to Purnell, can't, forced to launch up a prayer to the end zone, and it is answered in the flying form.
So great patience from Royal Stag in that last instance, but let's highlight the intensity of the Iznogood defender, really leaving not much room. They were like very, very tight on their players, not leaving them an inch, or I should say 3 centimeters of room to breathe. So great pressure for Iznogood, and as we mentioned before the game, Iznogood captain mentioned that we're going all out, nothing to lose.
Meyer with the big layout grab, and it shows when the offensive player has to lay out going laterally just how much pressure they were under. Lots of positivity for Isno to take away from that one, and in the end a clean offensive hold, but just about, especially the shutdown defense on the handlers that led to that big arcing pass all the way around to Ben Perel.
So Iznogood, base of Noisy-le-Sec, just near Paris, was founded in 1986. Impressive record so far. They have been many times France national champion, and they've also had many great presence in the European Championship and also World Championship, and their open division team will attend Worlds in Cincinnati in about a month from now.
So Müller with the disc in the middle of the pitch, looking for options. They're trying to clear space in the middle for their downfield cutters. Royal Stag doing a good job of just ever so slightly poaching into it and shutting down some of those options, forcing Isno to work it around and set up a shot from the power position, and screaming after it was Guillaume Resquin. I thought he was going to put it all on the line, but that disc was a bit too far away from him in the end.
Just a little too much gas on that very well executed flick, but just a few steps too far for the intended receiver.
So Ben Nelson of the D-line goes with a big over-the-top break, and unfortunately can't find its way to Shroise. So Isno, once again, their O-line turns it over but pops it back as Rescan has it in front of the end zone. There is a injured call. We're certainly hoping Plath is okay. So it's going to be Rescan starting play again with the self-check. A little bit of chatting. Pla's got to get out of that space. Gets it back to Müller. Müller in the middle of the pitch. Surveying, but again, it's difficult to get separation in these close spaces. He's forced to go with the arcing pass around, and there's a pick downfield.
So we can see the discipline of the French team. O-line well stacked in the end zone in order to create as much space as possible.
So Pla with the disc, and he's going to look to exploit that space. He goes so with a quick inside, and there's going to be a foul called on that one, understandably so, and immediately uncontested. So Rescan gets the score in the end. An uncontested strip call in the end zone is counted as a score. An uncontested foul would have sent Rescan to the front of the end zone with the disc. So that was an uncontested strip call. We're going to have another look at it here. And like you're saying, Etienne, such great structure. They create the space. Someone like Pla's got the experience to send that shot all day.
For the second time, Iznogood O-line redeems himself after losing possession. And you know, when you lose possession against Royal Stag, they will punish you, which they haven't been able to do so far. So great resiliency by Iznogood O-line so far. But let's set, they will, I believe if they want to have a shot at this game, they will need to be a little more tighter, cleaner on their O execution, because Royal Stag is going to make them pay for sure.
There's only so many times that you can get away with it. I agree, Etienne. And it will be interesting to see how Isno try to tighten things up on the offensive end. But I am very excited to see this defense have another bite at Royal Stag's O-line, because they were gnawing away all in the last point. They couldn't quite but take anything off, as here come Royal Stag coming back down in the opposite direction. It's Canaday. Loads up a big time shot. It's all the way out there. Meyer can't get there in time. That disc was always a bit low and dropping. So, early turn for Isno and an opportunity for a break. The Frenchman lining up, walking slowly to the disc. That is Cao Vu Nguyen.
Horizontal stack by the French team.
Interesting choice for a D-line offense. So it shows their experience. They know each other quite well. As you see, Menendez gets that to the sideline, and waiting for him there was Calmel. Calmel looking for Nguyen. Nguyen and Calmel so crucial to the Isno defensive efforts. Once they get the disc, Calmel again. And they're doing a great job of creating the space, but that time the timing for the cut wasn't quite there. Eventually they're able to get it for almost no gain at all to Menendez. Menendez back to Nguyen. Nguyen is trying to direct traffic. He's calling for people from all over the pitch. So it goes the easy under. Huge bid from Royal Stag, and they're starting to nip at the heels of the French. Back into middle to Nguyen, and it's popped over the top. Purnell is there to collect rather casually. Gets a quick pop into the middle himself. That's Egan surveying his options, searching around. Goes back to Purnell. Purnell. Nothing immediately available, and Isno momentarily trapping. Peeling off the dump handler, and to effect, that one bounces off the hands. I think a lot of defense in the area of Phelps Jade really influenced his focus, causing the drop.
Iznogood D-line now in possession of the disc. They will need to get some kind of rhythm into their all offense executions, which they have struggled to do so far in this game.
Oh, Nguyen sends that one back to Tessier. It's Florian Tessier. Florian Tessier back to Nguyen. They are deep in their own end zone, and there is not a lot of action happening downfield. They're relying on Nguyen to really throw them out of this danger. And there comes the big shot. I thought it was to nobody, but then chasing it down on the opposite end of the pitch is Eric Lucas de Couville. But again, another deep shot falling out of the sky quite quickly.
Good option by Iznogood. They had to try it because they were just getting clogged into their own end zone. So good effort as we see on the replay.
The initial turn from Royal Stag. You said at the start of the game, it's very difficult to turn this Royal Stag O-line. I have to agree, you're not going to get too many chances. As Egan loads up and launches, it's a battle underneath. Two players chasing, one man wins! Unbelievable.
Amazing body positioning by Iznogood defender on this instance.
And that's Bredal, a man whose name is writ large in the memories of offensive deep cutters across Europe. Starting to make his impact known in America as well. Big shout out to all of the fans watching us all over the world. You're very welcome to the WFDF stream here with Ulti.tv at the Europe's premier sporting campus, University of Limerick. It is our pleasure to bring you this content for free all week, all day, all action. As here come Iznogood one more time. That's Dukouvil down the line and waiting for him. Etienne. That's Etienne on the pitch, not the one in the booth. Dukouvil. Has Etienne again. This is better by Isno. A lot of lateral movement, but opening up some space. You can see a wide open side with nobody in it, including an Isno cutter until far too late. Nguyen, I think he looks like he's almost loading up the flick hook every time he stands there. Nicely dished out to Tessier as he runs on. Florian Tessier looks to send that down the line. Gets it to Bredard, the man who had that huge defensive effort. And a nice pop. Well taken in. So Menendez looking. Has Nguyen back. Gets him. Nguyen reaching up and plucking that one down with a pinch. All he needs is the fingertips. Bredard, front of the end zone, goes for the quick pop. It floats a lot, but plenty of time for Baptiste Menendez to get under it and get the break. 3-1.
Break point by Iznogood, even though they struggled at the beginning of this point to earn some yardage. Now they did a great job, just inches by inches, or I should say meters after meters. And they just were very disciplined once again, as we see the replay right now. So great discipline, attacking the break side and just continuing with a great pass from number 13, left-handed player from Iznogood. So first break point to the red shirts from France.
I would give that a double happiness for Bredard because he got that phenomenal defensive grab down in one end zone, and then he gets that lovely stretching lefty backhand break to seal the deal and go 3-1 up. Also, worth noting, as much as the wind is concerned, which isn't too much, that was basically an upwind break.
It was, indeed. And we have this interesting debate in Canada in order, how do you translate double happiness? And I would say, so far, you know, what makes you happy twice is the time? Well, it's a big ice cream cone. So that's our translation of double happiness. Still needing to be approved by all the French instants around the world, but we're working on it.
So would you say glace, or would you say
cornet à deux boules?
Cornet à deux boules.
Absolutely.
We see Royal Stag coming back out on the offensive end, looking to swing it around. A little bit of poaching from the handler marks on Isno as they try to influence the downfield shots, but Royal Stag, with all that experience from all over Madison and slightly further afield for some of their players, should be well capable to meet it. Sawinski gets it back into the middle to Shreewise. And there you can see that's what Isno are looking to do. We've got a call downfield. That's hand signal for an uncontested foul, so that will reset the stall count back to 0. If I'm correct in that. That's Pat Shreewise.
So nice poachy defense by Iznogood. Nice sharing, while the other 4 Iznogood defenders are playing a very, very tight matchup defense.
Thinking about the deep shot, but not for too long. It's arcing, it's up. There's 2 Isno, there's 1 Stag, but he prances into the air, collects it, smoothly delivering it for a score on the opposite side. That was fantastic stuff by Ben Nelson.
Great response by Royal Stag after being broken for the first break point of the game. They're trailing by 1, but still we are very, very early in this game. So looking forward for Royal Stag D-line.
So we're going to have another look at this fantastic grab by Nelson. Lots of pressure on him, and then no hesitation, just steps and floats it around to Kleinhans for the score. It's a really nice response by Royal Stag. They don't want to get broken again. They certainly don't want the wind to become that 8th defender. So now they're going to force Isno to go up into that treacherous circumstances.
So weather-wise, this game, well, actually all games today have been played in what I believe has been the best weather conditions so far that we have seen since last Sunday.
I think that's fair. It's actually been quite a pleasant day for the most part. A little chilly, but the wind hasn't been too invasive, especially here in the bowl where it tends to swirl and it can really, like if you watch some of our other streams, you've seen discs looking destined for the dirt, just get a burst of life and carry on. So you've got to chase everything, and you've got to catch your D's in these conditions. crucial as Muller gets the disc front of the end zone. Looks around, likes what he sees. Sends it to Pla. Pla, floating that one around to Tessier. That is Gueniel. Tessier on the O-line. Florian is there. We see another huge shot all the way down the pitch. And that was really well weighted into the hands of Afil. Afil now on the front of the end zone. Isno have come out firing with some smooth offense. Bredar getting it done on both sides of the disc. Frederic Bredar, a real titan for Isno.
What an amazing, nasty whip flick throw by number 16. Guillaume Resquin just going cross field.
Resquin's been very important so far in this game. I believe he has 2 goals as well. So now we see Pla, front of the end zone. Gets the leading pass, and that is comfortably collected from Resquin. That man is putting his team on his back right now. I actually want to retract that. I don't think he's putting his team on his back. It's an incredible team effort by Isno. Everybody's touching the disc. The defense is intense. They have come out with intent to make the semi-finals, ladies and gentlemen.
One thing's for sure, we are witnessing one hell of a game so far. So this American versus France confrontation is really up to the expectation. So 4-2 for Iznogood. While we're seeing the replay right now, after the nice flick pass, number 52, Guillaume Place, who feeds the other Guillaume Resquin, number 16, for the 4th point of Iznogood, now ahead by 2 in this first half.
Always great to see the Guillaumes connecting. Shout out to Fabien Barthez. That is Guillaume Resquin's personal sporting hero. He is good, funny, and very close to his teammates. And of course, a big shout out to his wife Gabrielle and his 2 girls, Eliza and Melis. I'm very sorry if I mispronounced those names. I had nobody to ask, who are watching at home and cheering him on. He's giving them plenty to cheer about. Please join us in the chat as well and on our socials to join in with the cheer or admonishment. You know, all engagement is good engagement, really. And right now, who are your picks? I'd say a lot of people watching across the Atlantic are a little surprised to see the feistiness of this French side. There's going to be a call. That's an offside call. That's what I've seen a lot of people put their hands up like that to indicate foul, because they're worried doing it low down won't count. But that actually means offside, although they seem happy to just go with a brick.
Zone-ish defense, poach defense by Iznogood, which has paid off. At least it's slowed down Royal Stag O-line so far.
So Nelson and Poole working together, involving Shreewise. Shreewise back into Poole. Poole popping to Shreewise. And it is not really a zone, but I love the way they flash and they help out on that handler side. Like you're saying, that's Alexander. Alexander looking, goes back to Poole, and that's some nice quick movement to Davidson. Davidson trying to do the uprushing handler as Isno have started to tighten up again. It looks like they're going to abandon this poaching for now. Alexander.
It was a pick call.
Or Davidson even.
Number 37 from Iznogood, Etienne Michon. Just got, unfortunately, blocked against a Royal Stag defender.
So Davidson sends that one under. Nelson with the disc. We know he can put all kinds of throws, but we know Royal Stag like to take what's offered to them. Very gracious in that way. Nelson sends it down the line. Shalitche back to Nelson. And he surveys, he doesn't like it. He goes with a very low throw to Poole, just about staying up as Poole floats one to the end zone. Huge vid! Big grab! Unbelievable scenes by Pat Shreewise.
What a great pressure Iznogood has put on the Royal Stag offense line, but hey, let's give all the credit to the white jerseys in this game, because they were very, very disciplined, working extremely hard with the unders cut, and what a layout grab by number 4 in order to provide his team their 3rd point of the game. Royal Stag still lagging behind by 1 little point, as we can see on the replay right now. Floaty disc going horizontal, landing with a left-handed catch.
Shreewise with a phenomenal play. A disc hanging there just enough. But again, a testament, despite the fact that was another flawless hold, which is 3 times in a row. The one time they got broken was the only time they've turned. They turned twice at that point. A flawless hold by Royal Stags. it was a sketchy flawless hold. I mean, there was a couple of instances there where Isno were getting close, and this pressure is impressive.
Both team pressure is very, very amazing so far.
As this one's going to gently float down. Waiting there for it. Lennard gets it to Müller. Müller so frequently the focal point of this Isno offense.
Great coach by number 32, just shutting down the long option right off the bat.
Kind of copying what Isno are doing as well, you know, just that flash into the open channel. I would like to see, as a response, Lennard do what Royal Stag were doing, which is be a bit more aggressive with his positioning. That's textbook positioning if it's a normal force, but you got to gain some yards wherever you can get them. Huge shot out of the hands of Calmel. He sent it. He's searching for Tessier. Tessier is found for the score. Comfortable.
That's what you want as an O-line. 4 passes along and a point. So great execution, flawless execution by the red jerseys. Now securing a 2-point lead still in the first half. So Iznogood having a great momentum, and still right now the pressure seems to be on Royal Stag D-line. They need a break point in order to, you know, there's always the very, as we see the review of amazing right hand whipped flick just in the right position by number 61. Naël Tessier. So flawless execution once again, and as we mentioned, the pressure seems to be on Royal Stag, which right now I don't think they've been too many times during this tournament in that position, trailing by 2 points in the first half. Did that happen?
That's a great point, actually, because when you look at Royal Stag's performances so far, they haven't really come across too many teams who put that level of pressure on them. They had quite a close match against Pacemaker, wound up winning that 15-13. They also had quite a close match against Pexau. That one finished 15-11, but for the most part, I'd say this is the most adversity they've faced all tournament, so let's see how they respond.
They've also won 15-11 against Skyline from Singapore.
So let's see how they do against Iznogood, representing Noisy-le-Sec. As near us with Sawinski. Isno just going for a full-on zone. They're done with the match pretense, and I like the fact they're mixing up the defense. That's a lovely blade over the top, taken in by Schreiwise. Schreiwise spreads that out across the pitch to Call back to Schreiwise. Schreiwise looks to shoot it to the end zone. And despite the intense defensive pressure, that one was taken down. I believe by Kleinhaus, but I will double check that. So again, Royal Stag standing strong, standing firm, despite the intense defensive pressure from Isno and the different looks they're giving them. Really nice little interplay between Call and Schreiwise. Schreiwise showing how crucial he is to everything that this Madison team is trying to do. Huge bid on the defensive end, but really well controlled and corralled. So that's Call, or Schreiwise to Call. Hits him again, Schreiwise following his throw, and so little hesitation. He's having quite a performance, and Kleinhaus with the collection on the other end.
Iznogood is hanging there with their zone defense, which, you know, has caused some problem to Royal Stag. And you see the hesitation, and when you know, if you have the skill to throw that kind of bladey flick in the wind, well, let's do it. But it's still, you're allowing the risky throws, and that's what Iznogood needs to do. Like you need, if you commit, you shut down the easy passes and force Royal Stag to do risky throws, well, you know, the turnovers will come. So great game management from the French team so far.
Let's see how Isno's O-line continues. After having a couple of shaky holds, you know, get a turn, but managed to get it back and hold. They've actually been quite impressive on the last two, both flawless, by which I mean there was no turns. Whenever we say a gold no or a flawless O, that's what we mean. An offensive hold without a turnover as Müller picks up the disc, rocking some top quality gloves. And if you want top quality gloves for all elements, you can use Friction Gloves, premier glove supplier to the ultimate community. As Müller looking to be a premier supplier to his team downfield. Calmel, who has so lethal, we've seen him send a huck already, centers it back, and it's just moving quickly around them. That's exactly what Isno want to do. Back in the middle to Müller in the end, and back along down the line. That's Lennard, marked very tightly by Blake Metz.
Great handler movement. that executed by Iznogood.
Really great handler movement as Leonard looks for options, thinks about the deep to Kalmal, doesn't want it, turns it off. He's got Müller, instead takes the under, and that's the tireless work of Kalmal. He gets looked off, makes another cut, comes back, gets it into the middle, and this is good, spreading around, much better stuff. Plus, and again that handler movement really standing strong to Isno, but it's not limited to one or two players as we've seen with some teams. They spread it all across the pitch, now currently in the hands of Gwen Tessier, but it has touched almost every player on the field for them right now during this point.
Iznogood about 5 yards shy of the brick mark, entering the red zone.
And that one is going to go back to Pla.
For those who wonder what the red zone is, well, it's a zone between the brick mark and the end zone, so that seems that you're almost there, but the toughest job remains to be done because there's so little room, 14 players and so little room.
Rescan down the line to Tessier. Tessier back to Rescan. Rescan in the middle of the pitch. Says no to the swing, goes with the break, because, you know, he likes to make things a little bit harder when he can. Müller back into Pla. Pla, he's cycling through so effectively. Huge defensive bid on Kalmal. We got a battle of the 36s. That's Brian Niver, who was just such a delight to talk to before this game, letting us know about the Royal Stag, how proud they are to represent the Madison community from which they come. And a big shout out to all the fans in Madison. Please join us in the chat. Let us know how you're feeling. What does it feel like to see your coaches, your leaders, go up against Noisy-le-Sec? And how can they fight their way back into this matchup?
So we see Iznogood O-line very disciplined right in the middle.
Again, this stood well to them earlier on. Well drilled, well structured. Kalmal puts up an arcing flick to Müller. Beautifully done, on the money.
See what discipline can bring you. It creates a lot of space, allowing the French handler to attack this open side space with a beautiful arced flick just in over the Royal Stag defender, leading to Iznogood 6 points, still hanging on to a 2-point lead.
Earlier on you were talking about how it takes a lot of bravery but skills as well to get that blade over the zone. Here we see Kalmal going for a very similar throw, more of a leading pass version rather than to a set player. So I would even argue harder again. The wind has slightly changed direction now, coming ever so slightly from left to right instead of right to left. But for the most part it's from the far sideline to this near sideline on screen. So you can get those kind of bladey throws up as long as the wind is pushing down on the face side of the disc. A lot of spin will see you through. A lot of spin takes a lot of technique. A lot of technique takes a lot of time to develop, and with the club going since 1986 and some of these players going for comparable amounts of time, it's understandable where they got that skill from.
And so far Iznogood, which is ahead. You know, if they expect to win that game, they will need to be disciplined and gutsy, take the right decision when to put that guts on the field in order to make those points happening.
So here we see Royal Stags looking to respond. Purnell down the line, taken in, huge foot block on Schreiwise. What a foot block by Bredard. Bredard and Schreiwise are having a battle of the ages right now. Layouts, skies, grabs, and, well, can he kick it?
Well, obviously he does.
That's the French-Canadian remix of the popular Tribe Called Quest song. As now we see going in the opposite direction. De Couville gets it down the line. And this French D-line has proven they can score already. That's Amado. Amado puts a high one up, taken in by Maurice. Maurice looks to get it back. That's Amado again. Amado spreading it wide, taken in by Zubir. Zubir gets it across to Bredard. Bredard has Amado, doesn't like it. That's a close mark on him. Zubir back into the middle to Nguyen. Nguyen back to Zubir, and Nguyen again, so essential to everything Isno does on the with their D-line offense. Nguyen looking for options. He's thinking about De Couville on the far side, but there comes the pick call.
Iznogood doing a good job at attacking the in cuts, but I haven't seen any long threats so far.
I apologize, that is not Francois Zubir, that is Monet wearing Francois Zubir's jersey, as that one spread across to the opposite sideline. Maurice gets back into the middle to Bredard. Bredard quickly pops it off again to Tessier. Tessier back to Bredard. Bredard in the front corner. He's looking, he's searching, and it's a bit of artistry for Monet, and the score.
Iznogood scoring their second break point of the game, taking a 7-4 lead against Royal Stag. We were wondering if Royal Stag ever was low on the score versus their opponent. Well, I'm pretty sure they have a trail of 2 break point in this tournament so far, so great execution. And it all started with Breda, number 13, foot block right in the middle of the field, and after that Iznogood just remaining extremely disciplined, once again attacking the ends, as we see the foot block on the replay, just extending his left foot just to tip it out of reach. And then after that, great centering pass, nice dish, run, pass and run from Vedal, and once again just the left-handed French player just dishing it to number 31 for Iznogood, 7th point of the game, leading 7-4.
I want to give a quick shout out to the traditional number 31 for Iznogood. That is Francois Zubir, their captain, who is currently nursing an ACL injury in the hopes that he'll be able to make a resurgence at the World Ultimate Club Championships. That is Monet currently wearing his number and doing it quite proud right now, as we see the Royal Stags coming back in the opposite direction with Brendan Egan. That stall count's getting pretty high. Quite a battle we're seeing between Amado and Purnell. That's exactly what we love to see, these matchups that neither of these teams have had before. And that one just bounced. Purnell's going to have to rescue it, and he can't quite corral it on the second bite. So a chance for Isno to take half here with another break. I don't think anybody saw this coming. Macron calls the timeout, an executive decision, and one that I would certainly agree with. And we hope you will agree with these positive messages from our sponsors, as we will be back in just a minute.
The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. Ultimate.tv.
And we are back with the action here in the quarterfinal matchup, as Iznogood of Noisy-le-Sac are knocking on the door of a third break in the first half to go 8-4 up on Royal Stag, coming out of Madison in Wisconsin. So let's see if they can respond. This is rarefied air for Iznogood. A potential semi-final in the Masters World Championships. Royal Stag have never been down by this much so far in this tournament. There's a pick called in the middle of the pitch, so Mail Maurice is going to probably have to send that back, because I think that pick was a play before that one, even. A difficult thing to quantify in the world of Ultimate Frisbee. As long as everyone agrees that it's fair, then that's as good as. Lovely little show of sportsmanship between Amado and Canaday in the middle of the pitch. So Maurice, one of the more stylish, if I do say so myself, players on the Isno side. Gets it into the middle, and they look for the quick pop. They're working it around nice and swiftly, and Amado snatching that one out of the clutches of gravity. It looked destined to go past him. Lightning quick reflexes. Don't think it's going back to Marcon though on that call. They're just going to discuss where the disc should be. Yeah, I think it will. Wouldn't mind a hand signal. Yes, it's going to go back to Marcon.
Once again, he's no good in the red zone. Let's see if their discipline will pay off. Le rouge zone. Ou la zone rouge, comme vous voulez.
Marcon sends it to Amado on the second time of asking. if it ain't broke. And Marcon with the sneaky little dish. And the score, Isno are excited, and you can see it in the movements of Decouville and his squad.
What an amazing first half by the French squad, taking it 8-4. And I'd like to highlight how they were able to leverage the timeout they just took, just to regather and just focus on the execution, but still flawless, great fake on the break side, putting the mark down, granting himself tons of space, but just a quick little dish by number 10, Eric Lucas de Courcelles. So Iznogood taking the first half 8-4, Royal Stag feeling the water boiling.
And are they going to be cooked? It all remains to be seen. I don't know, but venison might just be on the menu. Come back and join us in the second half to find out how this one ends.
Bichon picks up, and they've got a short field. They've got another goal. It's tied up at 12. I cannot believe what I'm seeing
Can
here.
Lola Dam chase that one down? That is a score for Hartlinger Elferkel. Fantastic run by Julia Lutz.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge.
And we believe that requires knocking down the paywall.
We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch, and we want them to go viral.
When you become a member, you enable us to improve our working relationships with tournament organisers, events and federations.
And you'll help us to produce live stories for Ultimate fans, and to generate new fans with our enhanced content.
We are a group of Ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts, and we want to bring you coverage on a more consistent basis. We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Ciao ragazzi, support the community.
And subscribe Ulti TV. There's lots of the videos, posting, everything. Check it out. They are the best one. Woo!
If you want to grow Ultimate Sports, become a member of Ulti TV.
Regardez Ulti TV. Deviens membre d'Ulti TV et fais grandir ta communauté.
Top Ulti TV velmi eroginkime Ultimate vendromena. Si quieres ayudar a Ulti TV, puedes ser miembro de Ulti TV. Thumbs up for Ulti
Everyone,
TV.
follow Ulti.tv on Instagram, on YouTube. They've got everything.
Best content.
Like their pictures if you love free speech. Just do it.
We're counting on you.
Bli medlem på Ulti TV.
Became member
of Ulti TV.
Mamma mia.
Contribue au développement d'Ultimate avec Ulti TV.
Like and subscribe, Ulti TV, the best in the world.
We want to grow Ultimate.
we want to grow Ultimate. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We have our signature style 2-camera setup,
With thousands of hours of experience,
and our crew is globally dispersed to facilitate coverage everywhere around the world. We can also scale back our broadcast with just one elevated camera, or scale up with 2 fields, 2 cameras, and 2 commentators on each.
we work with local teams and we all have the same mission, to grow the sport and bring it to new people by providing live coverage and news stories.
Become a member today on our Patreon page.
And fund our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories, ideas and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
I mean, they did stop the ball. Yeah. I mean, I will tell you this, like, what?
Welcome back, everybody. And if we could just weigh in for a moment, I would imagine the French would see it as sacrilege to even dare to compare their qualities of their cheese to the qualities of cheese found in Wisconsin. But I got to tell you, my brief sojourns to America, I mean, it's not bad. You're a North American, admittedly a French one, but can you weigh on this Etienne?
It's a very dangerous field, which I will not get into because I don't want to lose a few friends I have in France. So, I mean, it's a very dangerous path you're taking. Okay, I would not go there if I were you.
We're not comparing Californian wine to French wine, okay? We're talking about cheeses here. And at the end of the day, if you're eating cheese, you're having a good day. So
I agree with you on that. Yeah.
So let's see if Royal Stag can add to their tally, fight their way back into this game, put up a performance against Noisy-le-Sec, as it is in the hands of Schreiweiss. Schreiweiss had himself quite the first half, that huge layout grab as well as several plays with the disc in hand, gets it to Cole. Cole, and there's another throwaway. Big effort to try and collect it by Kleinhans, but in the end, this pressure from Iznogood is forcing a lot of extra.
We're seeing a lot of silent D from Iznogood, just pressuring Royal Stag O-line, which leads to turnovers.
Maurice corrects his body mid-flight to collect that one. Really nicely done. Gets it down the line to Florian Tessaye. Tessaye continuing the good times down that sideline. Gillo might want to get it off there, though. He's looking for the reset. He has Nguyen. Big defensive pressure, and it's coming to nothing right now. Somehow Maurice gets another one. I don't know how he's pulled down those two passes so far in this point. Nguyen, and there comes the swing all the way across. Gello back to Nguyen. Gello keeps running. Nguyen doesn't hit him, surprisingly. Instead goes back to Monet, forgive me. Nguyen searching, has Maurice front of the end zone, and he goes with the break to Bredard. Pick call.
We mentioned that many times so far, but let's look at Iznogood. Very disciplined end zone plays, very perfectly vertical.
As we see, I believe I saw 3 on the finger, so this will be coming in. Stalling 4, so he's only got 6 seconds. Nguyen doesn't need any of them. He puts it up, but perhaps forcing that one a bit. Davidson was wise to it, sneaks out and gets the break. There's the huge huck underneath it. Is the streaking form of Schreiweiss. Does he have another highlight in him? Yes, he does. That's got to be a strip.
3 red jerseys around number 4 from Royal Stag.
Schreiweiss. De Couville was the one who got the hit. So we're going to have a look at that on the replay.
It would, from this perspective, it looks like a strip, but let's see how they will rule it out on the field.
We can see the people on the pitch. We can see the people on the sideline who've looked at the highlight like we have, trying to gain the attention of the people on the pitch. They're going to go to the game advisor instead. And very fair credit to the people on the sideline. They're doing it the right way. Ghislaine Lenard came over to check. I think he agrees with us. He tried to get the attention of the people on the field, but you cannot interject in that way as if you're on the sideline for any call. You have to be asked. So they're going to the game advisor first, and then they can go to the sideline. The sideline has the perspective, and I'm Certainly feels like they agree with us that that was a strip. That was an absolutely stellar grab by Pat Schreiwise.
But what a great vertical also by Eric Lucas de Couville in order to strip that disc away from number 4.
Well, it's going to go back as a contest. So they did not go to the sideline, which is entirely within their remit, and that is the nature of the ruling, because obviously this is a spirited game and we don't really want to go to complete conversion VAR style.
Just to go back to the previous cycle, Iznogood was in a great position to start off the second half with their third consecutive break point, considering the 2 last they have scored, but they are just miscued, and a great awareness by Royal Stag defense.
So Royal Stag get another look. Schreiwise comes under. He has options, but they're very brief given this intense Isno defense. And here comes 2 more people screaming across and stealing it away is Clément Gelot. Clément centers it back into the middle. The wind is really starting to bluster. It is not easy to keep track of that disc. Tessier has Gelot, doesn't like it. Big active force and forcing the turnover. Huge credit to Eric Alexander. That is a D if ever I saw one for that man. As now working around with the disc, trying to go for a break is Poole. Poole has to float one up. Does underneath it Alexander. Alexander takes it down, looking into the end zone. This O-line hoping to hold, and it has been a lot of effort so far. Gets it back into the middle to Nelson. And again, great discipline from both sides. Schreiwise shoots to the end zone and collected by Alexander, by Cole for the score.
Great recovery from Royal Stag. They have lost possession 2 times in that last point. They really needed that point in order to stay in the course with Iznogood. So Iznogood still leading 8-5. So pressure is on Royal Stag O-line, which will need to be perfect for the remainder of the game. While we're seeing the replay, great dish backward, and then just perfect flick on the corner of the field and way deep in the end zone. Number 3 catching Royal Stag 5th point, still trailing by 3.
Daniel Cole, and in almost a reversal of fortune, several turnovers before Royal Stag were able to knock that one in. So in the end they get what they needed, but it was a close run thing. 8-5. This defensive pressure by Isno should be doing everybody cheering for them back home proud. It is incredible.
I'm pretty sure that the Mère Patrie is paying attention on the WFDF YouTube channel right now, enjoying the amazing show we are witnessing.
For free.
For free, obviously.
All day, all week, all time. Ultimate on YouTube for you to enjoy. So follow WFDF, get involved in the chat, enjoy the game, or continue to debate cheese. It's all good. Muller sends that down the line. Taken in comfortably by Tessier. That's Gwenel Tessier. Back into the middle of Rescan. Rescan, who is having himself quite the game as well. He's having himself quite the tournament, if we're honest. Pla. Oh, Rescan shut down in front. Muller had the opportunity to launch it, decided against it. Same third. Huck understandably saying no to it. That one's going to arc all the way around to Tessier on the opposite sideline. He says no to the cut down the line from a field. Instead, he decides to pop it in. This is quick play. Rescan front of the end zone. There's going to be a call for a pick.
So Iznogood about 5 yards shy of their 9th point. Iznogood O-line has been extremely solid so far. They have not gotten broken so far.
Rescan sees that was a dishy little turn from Pla and a lovely stretching pass across to a field. Oh, it's a pick call. That's fair.
Number 54, Anthony Affil, was oddly alone on this break side.
So that one's going to go back. I love that cut for the swing dump rather than having the front of stack. It comes from the back of stack. That's where it should come from every time. Can lead to picks. Generally picks by out of position defenders. That time it was because it was very tightly packed at the back of the end zone. So which way is Pla looking to go? Ooh, they clear out the front of the stack and then try to have a strike straight down the middle of the end zone. It doesn't work out. That one floats. Müller gets big and takes it down. That was not an easy catch by anyone's understanding. Müller gets it back to Pla. This is good handler movement. Pla looks for the break, decides against it, now goes for the quick pop in, and the throw to Afil scores on the second time.
Anthony Afil, this time he's at the right spot, no pick call. So provide his team their 9th point and a 4-point lead against Royal Stag. We'll be seeing on the replay how well executed was that last sequel. So great pivot work from number 44 Müller. And then 52 right in the middle of the field. Plas just feeds number 54 for Iznogood. 9th point, hanging on a 4-point lead. And the pressure is on Royal Stag O-line, but most importantly on Royal Stag D-line, which has not been able to score a break point in this game so far. So I'm pretty sure it's a pretty odd situation from Royal Stag D-line, not able to convert. But there hasn't been much to convert on. There was a few turnovers in the first points of this game early in the first half, but ever since then, not much to score a break point on.
If you're talking about Isno's O-line, they've turned it over twice in the first 2 points, but they fortunately weren't broken either of those times. They were able to get it back, and since then that O-line hasn't turned. The D-line's turned a handful of times, including the first point we had coming back after half. But this is a very composed offense by Iznogood. As Royal Stag searching for a way around. Poole gets it back. And that's a lovely leading pass. Maurice turns around just in time and is able to dissuade Cole from bringing it in. Isno keep up the pressure. Amado, there's the call. Immediately there's a deep strike by Kevin Ou. Oh, that's a lovely dump cut. Sends it across and into the middle. Tessier. Oh, faking the hammer. Menendez instead goes for a far simpler dump in the end to Tessier. Tessier has Amado, doesn't like it. Takes it directly behind. And that's some great swing work by Tessier. And chasing. Oh, now we're starting to see a bit of a switch, and he recognizes it immediately, stands in the middle. That is incredible work by Tessier. That handler switch didn't work at all. He immediately knew what to do. That is experience, but awareness as well. So I love that defensive look by Royal Stags trying to stop the uprushing handlers, but Tessier being very aware. So Marcon, he has Maurice. There's a peeling off defender, but it's not enough. Maurice doesn't want to force that into the end zone. Instead waits for the wide open form of Monet for the score.
Iznogood scoring another break point in this game. Their 10th point. It's actually their 4th break point of the game. But once again, their discipline near the end zone has paid off. And the few turnovers that Royal Stag were victim of, or miscued, but still, for every miscue, most of the time you have a very pressuring defense causing that miscued. So amazing work by Iznogood, who are still and remain in the driver's seat while we're seeing the review. So great work on the open side. Number 14, Maurice, taking his time, faking it, and finding number 31
Monet
for the point. Monet.
Again wearing Francois Zubil's jersey number for this matchup.
We love your interaction on the live chat. We really appreciate that. I think there's 700 people right now. Wow, amazing. Thanks for being there.
It's always great to have you here. You're dang right, they are looking strong. Les super vilains? Am I correct in what...
Les super vilains. Lucas Bouchon qui nous écrit. Et oui, Lucas, c'est fou, c'est fou, c'est fou.
So, all of the French fans joining in. We need to hear your voices, Madison, if you're out there. Your boys need some energy. They need some support. As here they come, looking for that hold. It has not been easy, as Bredar is really putting some pressure on Mayer. And there's a little bit of contact. Both these teams not afraid of a bit of bump and grind. Perel Searching, gets it over, it's floating, it's dropping, it's rescued at the death by Ari Davidson. And then he goes for a low flick himself, and there's, as I think is coming through our mics, that one certainly seemed down.
So great save by number 19 from Royal Stag, just a few centimeters off the ground, grabbing that disc and now flicking it. Did that touch the ground? Looking at the replay, my perspective is it looks down, but very, very tight call.
So here's the swing, and this is a fantastic bid from Ari Davidson.
There's 6 players, 3 from each team, looking at the replay, and they're all agreeing that that disc touched the ground before it got caught by number 443. So still great spirit.
And again, we're not allowed place ourselves in there, but people can come and check, and as long as it doesn't disrupt the flow of the game. In some situations, even speeding up the game, expediting decisions, as Nguyen looks to expedite this point, sending it all the way to the end zone. Oh, I believed in Monet.
Just a little shy from Iznogood, 11 point. Royal Stag going upwind.
And Davison is just throwing himself around, keeping possession. The wind's starting to really howl, as are these French voices. Bredard sneaks in, and there's just been a couple of miscommunications. Errant throws by Royal Stag, which we're very surprised by, because we've barely seen them do that all tournament long. This is no pressure. Really showing is Amado. Centers that into the middle. Monet looking. The discipline is giving him clean space, but no cutters yet. Bredard kind of lopes out there, and there's the no-look block. Nicely done by Perel.
There's a great anticipation by number 34, Parel.
So Perel looks to center it back into the middle. And there's Egan. The wind's starting to blow quite hard, but it is a side wind, and there, Egan, what was that throw? I mean, obviously it was stall 9, but he snapped that thing like a catapult.
He was on the break mark, and he just threw that disc deep in the end zone. So that was like over 60-yard long, upwind. Was that a flick or backhand? I'm not even sure.
That was a flick.
That was
a launched flick. Honestly, if I played with a guy like that, I would just automatically be doing that constantly. Not the throw, running for it.
Wicked flick.
Flicked wick. Just a little spoonerism that makes no sense for the people at home. As making a lot of sense, Nguyen calls the time out. So to make us some sense and euros, we're going to send you to a quick message from our sponsors. So Isno with Nguyen making the intelligent decision. Fun facts from the chat, which we love to see. Brendan Egan used to be a fencer, explaining how he got so much snap on that shot. Of course, also explaining why it went nowhere.
Interesting fact, Iznogood rallying screen At the timeout, they were screaming, maintenant, maintenant. It's meaning it's about right now.
As Amado wastes no time right here. Maintenant! Bredal only gets the tip. I thought he was going to take that down. There's a foul call. He said he pushed off from Meyer. Uncontested foul. That's a turnover. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I got the foul backwards. Uncontested that Meyer is agreeing he pushed off from Bredal. So Isno. Bredal looking for options. Can't find anything. Nice little poach in the open lane, but it leaves the open shot to the front of the end zone and the waiting arms of Clément Gelot.
Bredal once again being such an impactful player for the Iznogood squad. Going long, fighting hard to catch that disc. But he was fouled, so he just had to dish it after that. The stall was getting pretty high, but see how the left-handed player just fakes, granting himself some space, and finally just dished it with quite an angle to his teammate number 37, Etienne Michon. That was Iznogood 11 point. Iznogood has scored 4 points in the second half, while Royal Stag has responded with only 1 point so far. So 6 point lead for the French squad, and the pressure is definitely on the US-based team.
Yeah, I just want to apologize for incorrectly identifying Michon as a Gelot, because he's wearing the number 37 jersey just for this game. Big grab by Michon. And very impressive stuff by the French. 11-5. So let's see how Royal Stag can respond, if they can respond. We've been kind of waiting for them to turn on the Jets as Cole has the disc. They need to get the hold first, and it's taking them a while to do it. Big time effort from Isno, and you can see they're bringing some of their O-line players onto the D-line, because their D-line played so many points in a row. They're tired, I assume. And Shriwise gets the cheeky little pop over the top to Ben Nelson. Nelson into Poole in the middle. Poole searching. He has Shriwise. Shriwise, I would want to keep that guy on the other side of the disc, to be honest with you, but then again, I'm not from Madison. Cole spreads it. It was going low. What a grab! How Kleinhans got his clean hands to that disc is mystifying. But he snatched it up and saved the day. That's a score.
That would be an amazing advertisement for friction gloves. What a great grab. Great focus. Really had to pour himself on the ground in order to secure that disc to give his team their second point of the second half. Still Royal Stag is trailing while we're seeing the replay. What an amazing grab. It was all by himself, but still the disc was slightly out of reach, but was able to just extend his arm.
I would go as far as to say significantly. That was going very fast and very far away from him. He just decided to interject.
Great catch.
Really impressive catch. 11-6. So by no means over, but I mean every passing second. And Royal Stag still haven't gotten a break off this Isno offense. Do you think they're going to during this game?
Well, they need to, obviously. And I believe the Iznogood last break point, which led to a 11-5 lead, might potentially be the backbreaker for Royal Stag squad. There's still a lot of time. We're playing until the 100th minute, and we are 68 minutes into this game. Okay. So it's still a lot of ultimate need to be played in order to confirm who's going to win that quarterfinal Master Open Division game.
As we see a field center that into the middle, and they keep it rolling. It's across. This is such quick play by Isno. Pla has two options down field, Muller and Rescan. Eventually Rescan comes around for the dump, gets it to Rescan. Tessier to one side, decides against it, going the other way on the opposite side to Calmel gets the inside pop to Rescan looks about sending it. He's got an awful lot of open side. They're actually fronting Rescan right now, which is an interesting decision, trying to limit their ability to go downfield, but giving them a lot of options going sideways. As we see once more, Pla to Muller. There was a lot of sit on that. Muller with the scooper over the top. Risky at all times, and a big block coming through. Nice D by Josh Davidson.
Amazing defense by Davidson, which will give for the first time, I believe, in this second half a break opportunity for Royal Stag, which they are really needing right now.
So Perel centers it again. And they're flowing down the field slowly. Meyer, he's looking and eventually he gets it to the waiting Nelson. Nelson launches, lots of set. Perel's going to have to chase, but it was always going too far, too fast.
Good decision, but a little too much gas on this last long throw, which will give Iznogood another opportunity for their O-line to redeem from the last miscue they had near the end zone.
I think that might be overconfidence or hubris sneaking in there from Muller. That Scuba was always a debatable decision. But only, I think I'm correct in saying, only the third turnover from the Isno O-line in this game, and their first in about 14 points.
So very entertaining discussion on the live chat right now, talking about the game, talking about cheese, talking about food, talking about meetup together in Paris. So thanks for joining in. We really appreciate your input.
That's what we do here at WFDF and LTTV. We bring people together as there comes the shot from Calmel. It's sitting and it is chased down and collected. It's going to go back for the pick, but still good effort by Afil to make sure he collected that in time.
Number 54, Anthony Afil, was oddly by himself, going long, no defender behind him. Well, pretty simple to explain. There was a pick call on his defender. So still Iznogood in possession, number 36, Calmel with the disc.
Calmel, who had a brilliant performance the last time he was on stream. A little quieter this time, but I think it's more because his team doesn't need him. They're so well-rounded, they're so deep. Huge D, great block. So Meyer gets the turn, and it's a look at another break. Well, it's the second look at a first break for Madison. Schreiweiss gets that down the line. Canaday. And now there's the shot to the end zone for the first break. Trying to toe the line was Seth Meyer. That is not an easy catch to make, and he seems to have maybe knocked the wind out of himself. We hope he's okay. He is always an entertaining player to watch.
Number 30 simmed all by himself. Great decision, but once again, a little too much gas on Royal Stag. Long passes that we have seen, particularly in that point, but we've seen it also earlier in the game. In comparison, Iznogood is really working the unders, and if you look at Royal Stag defense, for some reason, they have been allowing the ins cut by Iznogood and really denying, shutting down the long pass for Isno, the long game for Iznogood. So maybe they might have to adapt that in order to create those turnovers to get those break points.
I always like the idea of baiting deep shots, hiding a defender back there. Now, if you're going to bait a deep shot and they send it to someone like Bredar, I don't think you have much of a chance. But at the same time, giving them these unders clearly isn't working, and they've tried tightening up, and Isno just know each other so well and are so well balanced across their squad. A lot of these players will be going to WUCC with Isno at the end of the month as well. And just maybe a little sneak preview of the damage they hope to do in Cincinnati as they're trying to fight for a semi-final berth.
So Royal Stag, right now, they are in a position, they need to have things happen, create stuff around, pushing hard in order to get those break points, which they have been lacking of since the beginning of this game. No break point for the US squad so far.
Just a little bit of discussion happening on the far side. I think you touched on a really interesting point as well. Adrenaline seems to be affecting Royal Stags a lot more than it is affecting Isno. Those shots, those final shots to the end zone, just going a bit too far, and I think that's because they're kind of caught up in this moment. They haven't faced adversity so far in this tournament of this type, and ever since they went 2 points down, that kind of desperation seems to have creeped in a little bit more. They weren't taking their time as much, they weren't taking their breaths, they're trying to get for these quick hits, and I'm sure that's because they were able to pull those off when it was all smooth sailing, as the confidence is up and you're connecting on them. Once they stop connecting, they haven't been able to take that step back and revert back to a more fundamental approach to the game, and I'm worrying that maybe it might be too late for them. Still plenty of time. Still plenty of time with 25 minutes, but they need to make an active decision with their offenses. That one just about gets around. Lovely shot into the middle, waiting for it was Afil. Afil centers it again to Lennart, back to Muller, and now Pla. Pla down the line. Chasing under it is Galmel. We know he doesn't mind sending it from here. He has Tessier. Tessier shot down by Schreiwise. And there Pla, the quick check to see if he was inbounds by Jade, but happy to let him carry on. It was certainly a close run thing. They need to get off this sideline. Pla goes for the inside break, sneaks that through. Tessier gets it. There's a stall out called, so it's going to go back. Now, this is one of the calls. We enjoy how they're working on this. Oh, it's just immediately contested, and they're going to get on with the game. Perfect. So that's going to come back in. So here.
So during this stoppage of play, you see Iznogood, vertical stack, leaving tons of space for the handler to get open.
So with the contested stall out, this will be coming back in on stall 8. He has 2 seconds, and there it goes, launching it immediately, taken down very nicely and popped in for the score. That was the grab by Rescan and sending it into a field for the goal.
Once again, the French discipline is paying off.
Very ironic.
Very ironic, some people will say. But
Well,
still, they're holding on their 6-point lead, and now they're only 3 points shy of the wins. So while we're seeing the replay, stuck on the sideline, really dishing it. Great grab by number 52, Plas. After there, he just resets it. Nice flick across for the goal.
That was Rescan sending it into a field. It was a beautiful shot across from Plas under a lot of pressure. And we will join you just after this timeout as Royal Stag look to relieve some of the pressure on themselves. We are going to hit you with a little ad break. To clarify, I said it was ironic that discipline is seeing Iznogood through because they're literally called Is No Good. And it's a reference to defiance and just general mischief making. But right now it is discipline and coordination that is seeing them through. As we see Poole spread that across to Sawinski. Sawinski gets it back into the middle. And Poole down, or give me that wasn't Poole, that was Nelson sending it down the line. Alexander back into Nelson. Nelson has Poole, and that's a tasty little backhand dish, just setting it up. Poole thinks about the arcing pass, decides against it, holsters it, goes down the line one more time, bouncing off the extended fingertips, and there's a huge shot that is floating, it's sitting, that's why you gotta chase everything here in Limerick. But unfortunately, it just didn't quite have the staying power for Monet. And both teams coming back at it nice and quick. Huge bits through, but completely unguarded. And now they have the opportunity to go the other way, but they don't seem to want to rush anything, which I can respect, as Davidson unfortunately couldn't connect on that one. So Nguyen going to pick up the disc, directing traffic downfield. Menendez. Menendez down the line to Amado. Amado looking. This big pressure by the Royal Stags gets it Nguyen eventually, and Nguyen, the quick pop back. There's a call for a pick downfield. You can hear through my mic the passion of the French sideline. They are trying to lead their team to, well, I think a lot of people would have to admit would be an unexpected victory. Certainly of this nature. Bredar gets it back to Amado. Amado looks to send it back into the middle. Eventually just dipping, diving. That's a tasty little break into Bredar. Bredar pops it back to Amado. They are living dangerously right now. Just sneaking these through the Royal Stag defense. And Amado. Bredar makes a cut. There's another call for a pick. Oh no, that's going to be a call for an injury.
Red jerseys in the red zone.
And they have had a lot of success in there so far today. Coming on is Seth Meyer to replace the injured Scott Sawinski. So Meyer now marking Amado. An unenviable task, I assure you. To Monet. Monet spreads around to Bredar. Bredar looks for the shot. And they're right outside the end zone trying to find a little way in. That's Michon back to Monet. Monet. Back to Michon. Michon. Monet. And they just keep moving. They're going for a bit of a handler isolation between Michon, Monet, and Amado. And there Nguyen comes out, and unfortunate with a little bit of a drop. Normally so steady. As Poole picks it up. Poole centers back into the middle. And that's Nelson. Nelson sends it down the line. Somehow that stays off the ground thanks to Cole. Cole gets it back to Poole. Now it's Shrywise. Shrywise.
We've seen earlier this tournament Royal Stag really attacking the long path, but for this point, they look a little running out of gas. There was no long threat for the last turnover.
Shrywise with the disc. Gets it back to Nelson in the middle. Nelson pops it over the top, but that's a bit too much for Davidson. And a lot of hearts went into mouths after that one seemed to skip momentarily above Baptiste Menendez.
While these points are getting longer, a Royal Stag O-line stays on the field, getting tired.
And you can understand Isno just looking to work them. Nguyen with a delicate break back into the middle to Monet. And Monet switches to the left hand to get the easier break off. Nguyen just sends it straight back to him. I think they feel like they're in control of this game and they can just take it at their pace. As there, Monet launches one deep. The stall count was getting awfully high and it drops out of the sky. So Menendez was slightly under it, but I don't think he expected to collapse as quickly as it did. Nelson shoots straight into middle. Shrywise. Shrywise looks to get the quick pop off. He does so to Davidson. Davidson plays it down the line to Poole. Poole looks to send it back into the middle, and there's another quick pop. Davidson has it again. I'm enjoying Davidson getting a bit more involved in this play. The undercut to quick pop and then cutting again. Shrywise to Poole. Poole looking for options. He has one in the form of Cool, doesn't want it. Instead takes the easier under to the available Alexander. Alexander, Shrywise to one side, sends it down the line instead. And waiting for him is Meyer. So I think that's every player on the Royal Stags who's touched the disc this possession. This is much better by them, Shrywise. Quick pop back to Alexander. Alexander looks to feed it through to Shrywise. He's on the end zone line, waits for the defense to react, and then overcompensates, unfortunately.
Usually Royal Stag execute, like they complete those passes and they catch those discs. It's just like momentary lapse of reason from the white jersey, granting Iznogood with another turnover and potentially their 13th point. There was a timeout call from Iznogood.
So we will take a quick break ourselves and stay hydrated here in sunny, sunny Limerick. And we are back as a huge bid from Trywise, somehow saved by Monet. What was that? Sometimes
I'm
the
speechless.
gods just aren't with you. And it's left a French-Canadian speechless. The unimaginable just keeps happening here in Limerick as that one gets across to the opposite side of the pitch and back to Nguyen. What a matchup we have. Trywise with a huge layout. Monet just lightning fast reflexes, snatching that one out of the air.
The gods of ultimate are with the red jerseys this afternoon.
It certainly feels that way, but let's be honest, they've paid the proper tribute by putting in the effort, showing the heart and resilience to earn the spot that they are currently in and perhaps book themselves a place in the semi-final. Nguyen, that stall count was getting high and he was left alone on an island. Amado eventually coming under for the freedom, but it's going to be called back for a pick.
Previous to this last one, Iznogood has called twice timeout by their D-line, and both of the time they were able to convert a break point. So great trend. Let's see if they can do it for a third time in this game.
Start as you mean to continue. There's Nguyen. And that's very impressive because a turnout is something that is quite common in our sport. Isno really bucking a lot of trends right now. Also, a quick shout out to John Doherty in the chat, who is going to be using this to study next time Fui come up against Isno, perhaps in the European Championships later this season. Nguyen hits Amado and keeps going. They're lightning quick with their throw and go, and they don't mind being led by this handler pair. Back to Monet. Monet to Nguyen. Nguyen down the line. That's Bredar. The quick pop back to Nguyen. He thinks about the flick hook, holsters it because there is a call downfield.
Iznogood just grinding their way up to midfield, but Royal Stag playing an extremely intense matchup defense.
They've been playing it all game long. Menendez launches that one deep. One touch onto Amado. Twice in one possession. Yeah, I think the gods are on the French side.
What can you say? What can you say? Twice is in the same point. Defense just max it in the hands of an Iznogood receiver, and the last time for the point. We'll see on the replay because I just can't believe what I just witnessed. Passes going long, macked out, but number 12, Salazar, just catches it and grants his team their 13th point of the game, 7-point lead against Royal Stag, and that was another break point. So Iznogood, every time they take a timeout on defense so far, they have converted.
So it shouldn't just be John Doherty who saves this video. It should be every coach in Europe. Look at the way they are capitalizing on these timeouts, exactly how they should be used. I believe Royal Stags just called timeout on their own because they recognize this is last chance saloon and they have got to stop misfiring. We will be back after these short messages. As you hear the French crowd roar from across the pitch, that proud tricolour flying. All of those fans clapping in unison. They are all overjoyed, as I'm sure a certain percentage of our chat is as well. You can debate the cheese, you can debate the wine, but right now it is undeniable. Isno are outperforming Royal Stags. There's still time, there's still distance to go. Let's see how the Madison side responds it. Egan with the disc, gets it back into the middle and then spreading it further outside to Davidson. Davidson has Perel, gets it back to him. This is a smart cup. The wind has picked up. Again, still mostly a side wind, but they're trapping them on this sideline that they want to trap them on as Egan and Perel try to work their way out of it. Hitting Davidson and back again. So a nice little bit of a hander weave between these three players, but at no point have they actually pierced the cup. And I think Isno are more than happy to just run the clock down. And they're in the driver's seat. They only need 2 more points, but
that's what we call game management.
I think it's a dangerous thing. You can invite teams back into a matchup with game management, but right now it seems like the correct call. There's the quick switch to match defense. You can probably hear them screaming.
Call on the field, more likely, I believe, a pick in the back of the stack.
I hope you guys can hear just the passion coming from the sidelines. This is a huge moment for the French, as they're looking to prove themselves against some quality opposition here in Royal Stag. Negan, stall count getting ever higher. Eventually he gets it off. They say no to the hook out of the hands of Canada. Instead goes for the under to the coach of this team and one of their key players, Niven. And these French handler marks are so tight at all times, forcing Egan to the ground just to get that extra separation, those precious few centimeters of life, as Egan once again, the fencers stab to the end zone and taken down by Canada.
So great patience by Royal Stag, really taking their time. There wasn't much room to go around and to move the disc around, and then the wind just picking up, adding another layer of pressure on Royal Stag, which are still trailing by 6 towards the end of this second half. We just passed the 92-minute time mark right now. So great flick from number 17 deep in the end zone, and way to collected by number 43, granting his team their 7th point of the game. So Iznogood O-line will get on the field on the receiving end of the pool. And I'd like to remind that they have not been broken yet in this game.
A very impressive performance by the Isno O-line. The few times they have turned it over, they have been able to reclaim possession and put it back in. They've given very few opportunities to Royal Stag, a team with really impressive defense. The Isno have just been ready to match. They brought the intensity, they brought the energy, and they fought hard throughout this matchup and earned the lead they currently find themselves in. A 6-point lead, 13-7. Here comes the big time pull and the chase by Royal Stags. They've got to start getting some breaks as that one sails out the back of the field.
So we have seen in the chat that some people wonder if the semi-final of the Master Open Division will be live streamed tomorrow. There will more likely be some games. The schedule hasn't been out yet, but we're trying to look into it right now, and if possible, we'll share it with you.
So the Masters Division, we will have the 2 semi-finals on field 3 right now. The field might change, but we will have them. They are on at 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock tomorrow. So that is exactly where you need to be if you're a fan of either of these teams and you want to keep discussing cheese and ultimate, 2 of the finer things in life, and both things that seem to get better with age based on the performance we are seeing here at the World Masters Ultimate Club Championships 2022, hosted by Limerick. Céad, míle, fáilte, mucharja. As there, Rescan. Again, he had so crucial in the first half. A little bit of a quieter second half of Isno have just tempered it down using the full stretch of their team. There goes the pop over the top, and it's a lot of contests underneath, but Rescan understands that was a miss throw, and any contact that comes afterwards has got to be considered incidental for the most part when it's a scramble. So Royal Stags needing a break. Here they come looking for one. That one pops over, and unfortunately it goes begging one more time. Lenard is the one who collects it. He centers it back to the waiting form of Blah. Back to Lenard. Now will they keep working the handler weave that their D-line was so fond of? No, they get to Monet with a beautiful break across the Tessier, Gwen Tessier. Looks, goes around, pops it over. Monet collects again. That man has pincers. He just snip, 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 and he's taking those discs all the time.
He had an amazing game.
Remember Monet having a particularly great performance in WUCC as well. Back in 2018, playing against Piewagon on one of the Ulti World streams. Great to see him 4 years later and still just so impactful. Céad searching, goes for the break. He faked it about 3 separate times. There's Leonard looking, doesn't want the inside, gets back to Céad. This time he doesn't go with the break. But every time these handlers throw, they chase and clear out, allowing someone else to come back down. It's great discipline, it's great technique, and it's another score for Isno. No breaks, and Rescan picks up a goal for himself. I think that might be his 3rd or 4th this game.
This looks like to be the last nail into Royal Stag coffin for this game. We're running out of time. Iznogood being 1 point short of the Master Open Division semi-final. While we're looking at the replay, once again, the discipline of the French in the red zone is just textbook. Nice little flick in the middle from now number 61, Tessier, who just feeds his teammate number 16, Rescan, for the 14th point of the red jerseys. La Mère Patrie is in control.
Sacre Rouge. 14-7. 7-point lead by Isno. Incredible scenes as Noisy-le-Sec turning up the volume, turning up the heat on Royal Stag, and Madison, for all their experience, all their depth, they have just come undone here in the quarterfinal, and it is full credit to the team from Noisy-le-Sec. Going strong since 1986. This might be one of the biggest wins as that one just drops low and it's a turnover. Nguyen's rushing to it. He wants to finish it now. Amado eases out for Bredar, who's been so influential in this whole campaign. And Amado picks up the score, hops it in. He's right on the end zone line. He's looking, searching. Nobody there. Bredar with the quick turn and go, and I think maybe forcing it a bit too much. The second they step into anarchy and away from that discipline, it undoes them. The French, of course, key proprietors of anarchy for social change and have used it a lot to their benefit in the past. But this time it has got to be about the discipline, got to be about the structure. As once again we see Royal Stag looking to go back, and again a miscommunication. Shriwise couldn't get his hands around it, but understandably so. It was far behind him. Nguyen with the disc. Goes to the arcing pass around to Rescan for the score. He toes the line and books himself a place in the semi-finals. Isno lose their minds. You could probably hear them cheering all the way from Noisy-le-Sec right now. They're eponymous in every sense of the word, except that Isno have got to be considered pretty damn good after that performance. How about it, Etienne?
Well, the red shirts had nothing to lose, and indeed they displayed all their skill sets on the field, and they had, you know, sometimes you say you're lucky, but some other times you create your luck. So just a miscue by Royal Stag, which once again Iznogood Z-Line just took advantage of, and what a nice tiptoeing, making sure he stays in the point zone, granting his team their 15th point. Iznogood is going into semis in the Open Master Division. Wow, I'm just very, very excited about that result, which is, I believe, probably one of the biggest upsets so far in this World Championship.
It has to be considered one of the biggest upsets by that margin as well. Nobody would have seen that coming. I thought Isno had a chance coming into it. Great spirit on display by the Royal Stags. You love to see it. Celebrating, putting their hands up, keeping positive. They're very welcome, and I'm sure now that they're out of the competitive side of the tournament, they can start to really enjoy the social side of the tournament, something that is definitely worth partaking in. But huge credit to Noisy-le-Sac's Iznogood and the crowd all cheering with them in the stands. There's only one real word to say to describe this situation. So before we leave you, I have had the pleasure of being Lorcan Murray, and I have had the joy of being joined by Etienne
Fournier.
So ladies and gentlemen, until next time, voila.
fáilte.tv.
What? Damn! Hot! Diggity down! No, see the sex. The chat. Oh! Jeez! Oh my god. The whole fucking